something, and even as a coach, I'm like, I'll ref, I love roughing.
Sure.
And you're always hard on your
The CEO's being sued against Bronco being sued.
Okay,
they're amazing.
okay, here we go. Well, with roll calls now, we're ready to call this meeting to order. Roll call, we have one absent, Mr. Stroh is under the weather. And any comments about closed session items? Notice I didn't call him the peanut gallery, but okay. Okay, we're going to so we're a little late. Roll call. Roll call. We have all board members are present except for Mr. Stroh, who is out sickly tonight. Our student reps are all here. Lexi Thor from Bear Creek, Margaret Machado from Tokay, and Celine Wong from Middle College. Okay, you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, in closed session regarding student matters, placement of non-public school students, Mr. Nava motion, Dr. Ball second, and the board approved placement of non-public school students, numbers 35, 129, and 130, by the following vote of 6 yes, 0 no, 1 absent. In personnel matters, public employee appointments, employment, Mr. Nava motion, Mrs. McFarland second, and the board approved the appointment of Cynthia Warmerdam as middle school vice principal, effective date to be determined by the following vote of 6 yes, 0 no's, and 1 absent. I understand she's in the audience. She is. Stand up. Okay, and other personnel matters, superintendent's evaluation. Per Section 10 of the superintendent's contract, the Lodi Unified School District Board of Education completed the superintendent's written evaluation for the 23-24 year. The board deemed the superintendent's performance as progressing acceptably or better in all areas. As such, this notification that the superintendent's contract was extended by the board for an additional year, July 21-26 through June 30, 2027. Okay. And next, the fun part. We have some recognitions. Mrs. Church, are you going to?
Personnel Director Amber Jager and Eric Collins will be presenting those tonight.
President Connexted, members of the board, and Mr. Young. Personnel is honored to be here tonight so that we can partake in the recognition of several employees with the district. We had an abundance of applications this year, and our committee members were diligently working through, and we're excited that we have folks to honor this evening. We'd like to start with the classified recognition. In the area of custodian, I would ask that Raul Garcia join us. His supervisor, Jamie Moso, was a previous supervisor, and his current supervisor, Brianne Carroll. Please come up to the front.
Thank you to everyone that nominated me, Ms. Moso, Ms. Carroll, my home school, Orchard, and the 18 years I've been as a custodian. It's been great. It's been fast. It went by fast. I was 21 when I started it.
40 now.
It was good though. Thank you.
Good evening, President Knattstead, members of the board, Superintendent Young. I'm Jamie Moso, principal of Heritage Elementary School, and it's my privilege tonight to recognize someone truly exceptional. While I'm new to Heritage this school year, I previously served as the principal of Lodi USD Borchard, and I'm joined tonight by Borchard's current principal, Mrs. Bree Carroll. It is both a privilege and a distinct pleasure to stand before you today to honor an outstanding individual who truly exemplifies the best of what it means to be a member of our Lodi Unified School District team. We're here today to celebrate Mr. Raul Garcia, head custodian at Borchard Elementary, who is being recognized for the CSEA Employee of the Year Award for Custodial and Maintenance Services for Lodi Unified School District. To stand out in a role like Mr. Garcia takes more than just completing tasks, more than just following a daily routine or daily route. It requires an unwavering dedication to the school, to the people within it, and to the larger community we serve. And that's where Mr. Garcia truly shines. He's a person who consistently goes above and beyond, not just in his assigned duties, but in noticing the details, responding proactively, and creating a supportive, safe, and welcoming environment for everyone. Mr. Garcia's work goes beyond cleaning or setting up spaces. It's about being attentive to what's needed, even when it's not asked for. It's about stepping in when unexpected issues arise, whether it's responding to student emergencies, identifying potential threats from unknown persons around campus, or assisting with the fire department when calls and emergency medical services need to be called out. It's about quietly being there in the background, handling technical issues like troubleshooting Promethean boards or fixing or setting up sound systems, always ensuring that the school runs smoothly without drawing attention to himself. What truly sets Mr. Garcia apart is his humility. He's a very private person and would be the first to shy away from the spotlight. But today we're not just recognizing his work, we're acknowledging the heart behind it. A true service mentality is something that cannot be bought or measured with a salary. It's something that comes from sincerity, integrity, and heart. Mr. Garcia embodies all of these qualities day in and day out. Think about the little things that make a school a welcoming and safe environment. Mr. Garcia makes sure our flag flies high every morning and lowers it at the end of each day. He sets up the parking lot daily with a system of chains and cones and ensures safe and smooth drop-offs and pickups for our students and their families. He manages the front of Orchard Elementary School, keeping it clean and welcoming as it often serves as the community park. And let's not forget the interruptions. He is constantly pulled away from his duties and even his lunch breaks to address potty accidents, messes, spills, and last-minute requests that no one would blame him for resenting, but he never complains. He accommodates turning over the multi-purpose room from a breakfast place to accommodate an assembly to setting up hundreds of chairs for an evening event and then cleaning it all up in one day. Mr. Garcia is always there with a steady hand, a calm demeanor, no matter what's needed or when it's needed. All of this behind-the-scenes work, the attention to detail, the care for others, comes from a place of true service, and that's why it's such an honor for Bree and I to be here this evening and recognize Mr. Raul Garcia. His contributions go far beyond the duties of his job. He gives his time, his energy, his heart to the school, to the students, to the staff, and to the entire community. So it is with this great pride and appreciation that we recognize Mr. Raul Garcia for the Lodi Unified School District CSEA Employee of the Year.
Next, we would like to honor in the area of clerical. If Mary Soy and her principal, Joe Ward from Westwood, would join us up front.
So Mary made me promise that I would speak for her because she is not one to put the spotlight on herself. So I would like to share some things about Mary. So President Knaxted, members of the board, Superintendent Young, I am here tonight and I'm so privileged to be sharing about how incredible Mary Soy is as a classified employee. She is truly exceptional. Admittedly, like I said, she does not want me to talk about her so positively or in such a public way. Because she doesn't seek the spotlight, and that's a part of her character. But I do want to share some things about her. She is, without question, one of the most incredible school employees that I've worked with in my time at various school sites in various districts over the last 15 years that I've worked in education. She's extremely organized, always looking for ways to apply her skills to the systems, both at Westwood, our school site, as well as within the district. She's able to take procedures and systems, she analyzes them, and improves upon them for the benefit of everybody. Additionally, she's one of the most knowledgeable people that I know when it comes to the workings of our district. In combination with her attention to detail, it means that Mary is always able to get the job done in the most efficient and effective way, and it's really quite impressive. It goes without saying she's a very hard worker. She's not satisfied with any loose ends or incomplete tasks or anything like that, and she ensures that everything that is given to her or that she assigns to herself is done completely. As a site principal, I just don't worry about anything that comes to Neri because she does all of it completely, correctly, conscientiously. It's incredible. Besides working at the school, Neri is also actively involved in the success of the school, its students, and its families. She's volunteered her time after hours in support of many school-wide activities and programs. She's donated her time to the support of the Westwood Parent Club and after-school events with them. She also knows all of the students and all of the families at Westwood, and that is no small task. She's one of the first faces that most parents see when they come into the Westwood office, and she always sets a positive tone for that first interaction and for every interaction that follows after that. I think she leads at Westwood by example. Among other employees at school, she's someone who others go to for support and guidance. I believe that she truly has Westwood's community and their best interests in heart. She really wants to see others around her thrive, and in that way, she's a leader at Westwood in the same way that I strive to be a leader myself. The best leaders, like Neri, use their time and energy in the service of others. She's been an incredible resource among other principals, secretaries, and principals in our district, often helping out for other sites. Even before I was directly connected with Neri as her site principal, I witnessed her helping and supporting other school site office staff in a training capacity, as well as other principals in a support role. And since becoming her supervisor, I've seen that kind of action continue many times where other office staff have come to Westwood so that she can help support them and train them there. So in summary, I believe that Neri truly cares about those around her. She views the district-wide team as her own, and I believe that she wants to see schools, staff, and families in Lodi Unified be successful. And so in this way, I'm so glad that she is being honored here this evening, and I'm very proud of you. Congratulations, Neri.
Next, we're going to recognize in the area of para-educator. Would Merlin Watkins and her principal, Michelle Brown from John Muir, please join us up here?
I will start first. Good evening, board members. And this, come over here so we can see. Hide behind me. This is Miss Merlin Watkins, and she is with our severe mod SDC class. And if you see her smile, this is what gets you every day. She's always happy, positive, willing to do anything for our school, and that is why I nominated her. She has been with our school for years, and she knows what's going on. She can fill in. She sees something that needs to be done. She does it, no questions asked. So that is why I thought I have to nominate Miss Merlin. The kids love her. The staff loves her. She's a positive person, and more than anything, she's part of the team, and that we appreciate.
First of all, John Muir is really deep down is my home school for my children. We've been there since kindergarten, all my 3 children. And so I devoted myself to be part of John Muir, to be a PTE mom, to be a team for anything, any events, Harvest Fest, whatnot, whatever. I'm a helicopter mom. And so working with John Muir for over the years while my kids were there, I bonded with a lot of the teachers and parents and kids, and I thought this would be a great place for me to devote myself to give back to community, to help out other kids that need a lot of help. And with my gift to be able to raise my kids and have them finish college and be able to work in the community, I thought this would be a gift for me to give back. And I am really deeply honored to receive this award. It's meant a lot to me to be recognized by my peers and my colleagues and my great leadership of our principal, Mrs. Michelle Brown, and our previous vice principal back then, Mr. Phil Collins. I'm so happy to see you here. I was, oh my God, I've been there for too long. So, anyways, so I'm striving to improve my skills, especially with the kids with special needs. I believe they can be capable to do like any students, as long as we have the patience and love for the kids and to create a bright future for them. And I think that's what my heart felt, that I felt calling to help them out. And also to my family, they're here with me today and tonight, so I'm really also thankful for their love and devotion to me where I am right now to help with the kids. So thank you very much.
Good evening, President Connexted, members of the board, Superintendent Young. It is my honor to then move on to our next employee representative, which would be the Counselor of the Year, and I would like to invite up Dr. Aisha Bryce.
President Connexted, members of the board, and Superintendent Young, I am so honored to be in front of you today to talk about Miss Sandy Warmerdam. I met her almost 15 years ago as a teacher, worked with her as a program specialist, and now just overall supporting the counselor group. And there never goes a day where she is not willing to meet the needs of her students, to talk to staff when they need that support, and she is there for her community. You could drive by Plaza Robles on any given evening, and whose car is in the parking lot? It's Mrs. Warmerdam's car. So as I give this honor to her, and I'm gonna let her current principal, she has multiple former principals in the house coming to support her tonight as well. But I'll let Mr. Shipley share all the accolades of working directly with her. So Mr. Shipley.
Good evening, President Connexted, members of the board, Superintendent Young. Over the past years, I've had the luxury to work with some amazing counselors, but tonight we get to honor one of the most loving, caring, and deserving counselors so worthy of accepting this prestigious award, Ms. Sandra Warmerdam. Ms. Warmerdam has served our district for many years at various levels, beginning her counseling journey at schools such as Heritage and Leroy Nichols. Then Ms. Warmerdam would take some time off to become a loving mother and raise her own beautiful family. Ms. Warmerdam would soon return and spend some time at places like Lodi High and Tokay Colony before she'd eventually find her permanent home at Plaza Robles High School. Just as amazing as Mrs. Warmerdam is, this fact that since the inception of Plaza Robles High School in 1993, Sandy has been the only counselor to serve the students and staff of Plaza Robles. Mrs. Warmerdam is always a positive and upbeat and treats everyone that she interacts with as if they're members of her own family. There are actually no bad days when it comes to Mrs. Warmerdam's attitude on life. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. If you were to visit Mrs. Warmerdam, you would see thousands of kids and families that she has assisted over the past 30 years posted on the walls of her office. This serves as a subtle way for her to help motivate her students as they come to Plaza, because they too want to one day put their own picture up on Mrs. Warmerdam's walls of fame. Mrs. Warmerdam was always the first one on site and literally the last one to always leave. Mrs. Warmerdam will always put her own personal workload aside and talk with anyone wanting to speak with her throughout the day, appointment or not, whether it be students, parents, or even staff members. Mrs. Warmerdam is always finding new, creative, alternative ways to help all of her students achieve success once they arrive at Plaza Robles. Just to say we are very fortunate to have Sandy Warmerdam at Plaza Robles. is such an understatement. She truly is the ray of sunshine we all need on a day-to-day basis. So without further ado, please let me welcome my colleague, my friend, and now Lodi Unified School District School Counselor of the Year, Ms. Sandy Warren.
I wrote a little speech about 3 or 4 times and then I condensed it, and I thought I could just give it, but I'm sorry for the notes. Superintendent Young, President Knackstead, board members, Lodi Unified School District employees, my friends, and my family. In the spirit of celebrating National Gratitude Month, I certainly have a lot to be grateful for. A 46-year marriage, 2 wonderful children, 4 adorable grandchildren, my friends, my coworkers, and a 34-year counseling career with Lodi Unified School District. And tonight, the biggest honor I could ever receive, being Counselor of the Year for the district that I love so much. And what an honor it really is for me. And I'm just beyond words. I'm just so excited about this. I've been so happy when I heard about it, and the worst part is standing in front of you and not being able to say my speech so eloquently. Although my name is in the spotlight this evening, this recognition is shared with all the amazing counselors of Lodi Unified. They are truly a bright, energetic, and inspirational group, and when you honor one of us, we shine a little bit brighter together. For the last 31 years, I have brought my heart to a little school in North Stockton called Plaza Robles High School, where passion meets purpose. It is a very small school that imparts so many things to these students. And in a huge, huge way, we are a team. We're a team of employees who work tirelessly for students. And as we are stronger together, I am so proud to be part of that team. And tonight, I'm so moved at the fact that when I walked in, I not only have my current workers with me, my coworkers, but some of my past workers, my principals from the past, and it just fills my heart with so much love. So I just want to thank Plaza Robles. The team that we have formed is so beautiful, and we really make a huge impact on the students that we touch. I am so proud to be part of this team. I'm very grateful to Plaza's administrator, Mr. Shipley, our teachers, and the staff for believing in me throughout the years, and to Dr. Bryce for her strong leadership of our counseling group. I thank you all so very much. I just can't have the words to tell you how much I am honored by this award tonight, and I just will cherish it for my lifetime. Thank you so much.
Well, sorry.
Well, that was the exciting part. Now we're moving on to public hearings. Okay, at this point I want to declare the charter school renewal petition from Aspire Benjamin Holt College Preparatory Academy, Aspire Benjamin Holt Middle School, Aspire Vincent Shavley Academy, and Aspire River Oaks Charter School, which seeks to renew the charters for July 1st, 2025 to June 30, 2030 to be open. Are there any board comments? Okay, any public comments? Okay, I declare this. Are these on? Okay, those are public. Okay, this is just on this public hearing. Okay, then I'm going to close this public hearing at this point. And we're going to move on to comments from our students. Lexi, Bear Creek.
President Knaxton, members of the board, Superintendent Young. Might I just start off with, President Knaxton, I love your tie. I love it. Here's what I have to share about Bear Creek today. So, we're starting off strong with our homecoming game and dance. They were booming. We had a great outcome and the students had so much fun. Special congratulations to our 2024 homecoming king and queen, Jeremiah Lime and Lexi Thor. Jeremiah Lime is very involved in school, including being an ASB member, link crew leader, cheer team manager, and being involved in various clubs on campus. His bright and bubbly personality never go unnoticed at the Creek. I mean, I can brag about Lexi too, but we'd probably be here all night. On October 28th, we hosted our first annual trunk or treat night. The turnout was amazing. We had so many of our elementary school friends to come and support, and the clubs and leadership classes had so much fun interacting with them, along with other community members. Link Crew also held their scary movie night where they showcased Lights Out, and might I say, my lights were sure on that night. Shout out to our Link Crew advisor, Ms. Camille Rawl, for organizing such amazing events. Link Crew is also working hard to organize our Winterfest dance. The theme this year is La La Land, inspired by the movie, and will be held on Saturday, December 14th. Student government has decided to decorate the Winterfest rally as Charlie Brown in hopes of sparking a festive holiday spirit. Our drama club is hosting a talent show named Bear Creek Live for students who have special talents in visual or performing arts. Auditions were held last week and there are so many kids interested. As for our music program, our jazz band placed first in the 3A division competition at the Lodi Great Festival Bowl at Tokay High School. We are so proud that you play for the Creek. Our staff members of the week are Ms. Maria Ramos Robledo and Ms. Jennifer Sheeran. Ms. Maria Robledo is a dedicated teacher who always devotes her time to show her students that she cares. Whether it be showing up to sports games, staying after school, or taking time during class to help her students better understand the lesson, Ms. Robledo never fails to show her students how much they matter. Ms. Jennifer Sharon is our school psychologist who always provides extra support to our students. She is our personal hero here at the Creek who has literally saved lives. Thank you, Ms. Robledo and Ms. Sharon, for always going above and beyond for our students here at the Creek. Our fall sports have officially ended. Our flag football team made it to the Final Four and had an amazing game against Wood Creek High School. Their hard work, dedication, and teamwork did not go unnoticed, and they did a great job for creating hype for our future years. Finally, it's giving season. ASB and Conflict Mediation are working hand in hand for a food drive and to give back to those in need. We also plan to organize a toy drive for those kids who may not be able to receive a present this year. Our freshman class president, Jasmine Lime, has a passion for giving and also plans to organize a clothes drive so less people have to go cold in this winter season. We are all for giving back here at the Creek and are so excited to get in this holiday spirit. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to acknowledge, I know that Lexi mentioned it quickly, but she was selected homecoming queen for Bear Creek High School this year.
Thanks, Ms. Knob. Okay, Mark Machado, Tokay.
President Knaxted, members of the board, Superintendent Young. Here at Tokay, FCCLA amazingly held our blood drive on October 25th in cooperation with the Red Cross in order to help involve Tokay in more community events. Similarly, FFA is currently holding a canned food drive so that the disadvantaged families can have the opportunity to have their own Thanksgiving dinner. FFA also hosted their own Halloween movie night, as well as student government. We were extremely successful and many people showed up and enjoyed the movie and the environment, as well as the concession stand. We showed the movie The Corpse Bride, and many people were excited to see this and really resulted in a great turnout. We also have a fall spirit week this week in honor of the autumn season and Thanksgiving coming up. Yesterday was flannel and puffer day, today was bundle up, tomorrow is sweater weather, Thursday is PJ day, and Friday is slippers and fuzzy socks. So we hope this helps get everyone in the holiday mood and boost holiday cheer. Our amazing and wonderful band won the Central California Band Review and also hosted a very successful Grape Bowl Classic in which they also won to no one's surprise. Our band is one of our most successful programs here at Tokay, and we are also proud of them. We also have our play Little Woman being put on from December 5th through the 8th, which we are also excited for, and I personally know how much work has been put into it as I am helping with the play. We would like to acknowledge Chloe Lowe, Ryan Tobbs, and June Bengoa for their exceptional performances in their respective sports. Chloe is tennis, Ryan Tobbs is, I believe, water polo, and June is flag football. The sports, girls golf, girls tennis, water polo, both levels, cross country, flag football, volleyball, they all had postseason qualifiers and medaled in league, which everyone is very proud of, and all of the fall sports have done amazing this year. In December, we're excited to propose a Whovelation Week from December 9th through the 13th. Each day will have a different theme for Spirit Week: Grinch vs. Santa, Cindy Lou Who Crazy Hair Day, Holiday Sweater Day, Snow Day, and Cozy PJ Day. During lunch, we'll also host fun activities like holiday movie trivia, name that holiday song, and games like Pass the Bow, and a gift card unwrapping challenge with oven mitts. Additionally, we're planning a donation drive to support a local orphanage or family in need. Students can bring clothes, essentials, and toys for the holidays, with the class that collects the most donations winning the title of the Holiday Cheermeister for their teacher, complete with a wreath, crown, and donut party for their first period class. We'll also hold a door decorating contest with another donut party for the winning class. Finally, on December 14th, we'll wrap up the Whovelation with a holiday movie night showing The Grinch in the practice gym, complete with treats like hot cocoa, cookies, and popcorn. And that's it so far.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any comments? Okay, Eileen Wong, Middle College.
President Knackstead, members of the board, Superintendent Young, I would love to tell you what we've been up to recently. Our Mesa program held the first scrimmage and is getting ready to select final teams for competition, and our Mesa Quiz Bowl team also won first place at UOP Pacific Mesa's Quiz Bowl. Shout out to our competitors Jaden Singh, Adis Zavik, Jada Gao, and Armand Ball for taking home that trophy for the second year in a row. Our Middle College Science Bowl team has also finished up selecting their final teams in order to compete in the springtime. Our Tabletop Games Club has hosted their first game night just a couple weeks ago with the Percy Jackson theme. A student-made and led band named Starcrux is having their very first performance tomorrow at Music Club's bi-weekly meeting. Sports Club held a volleyball tournament just last week, which was a fun way for students to de-stress and blow off steam, especially for seniors in the midst of college application season. Culture Club gave out 2 winner-formal tickets to the winners of their Fear Factor event. Our Middle College Key Club has collaborated with Delta College to host a canned food drive during this holiday season in order to give back to the community. And for student government has just held Fall Rally 2 weeks ago, I believe, a school-wide spirit competition between grades, and we had a great time watching students engage in spirit battles, watching student-made music videos and talent show performances, as well as class games. We just concluded our PieCo fundraiser, which was a first for us, and we are looking forward to distributing pies tomorrow after school. Student government is now focusing on finishing preparation for our winter formal, which is coming up incredibly soon. Our theme is Cinderella this year. Ticket selling began this week, and we can't wait to show our students and guests what we have planned. We're also looking forward to planning our annual movie night after winter break. As far as recognitions, I would like to welcome Ms. Funghauser back to campus after her maternity leave. All of Middle College is super happy to have you back, and I know the juniors and freshmen are looking forward to getting to know you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Young, Superintendent's report.
I do. I just wanted to see what it was like to stand up here and, no. I have 2 public service announcements to make before I start with the superintendent's comments. The first one is, if you would like some lemons, board member Sherry Alexander has provided bags for you to take. So this is what happens when you have a lemon tree and you need to share those lemons. The second one is one about my own anxiety, knowing that Porcelain has a calculus exam tomorrow, and she is going to need to leave, and I am going to hereby demand that she go so that she can study for this exam. So you can certainly exit at this point if you need to, okay? But really what I wanted to share this evening during Superintendent's comments, and I would also appreciate hearing from you, Mr. Knackstead, it has been a pleasure serving as your superintendent. As board president, you and I spent a lot of time together looking at the agenda, preparing for board meetings, and it has been an honor to serve for you, to be your superintendent, but also share in this critical role of leading this district. And I've enjoyed the time we've spent together. You have served 8 incredible years, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, because you served this district for many more years than that. You've made many sacrifices for this district, and I am just so thankful for your heart for Lodi Unified, its students. And I play this game throughout the district. I call it, it's kind of like Where's Waldo, but it's Where's Knackstead? Because I feel as though when I go and visit activities and events throughout the district, you feel good that, oh, look at me, I'm showing up. But who is always there before I arrive? Mr. Knackstead. And I see that at track meets. I see that at events at Bear Creek. I see it at elementary schools. It really speaks to who you are. So the question is, what do you get someone who you have served under as a gift? There is this theme that came up this evening. Evidently you wear Disneyland Mickey Mouse ties, so I've heard. So on behalf of the superintendent's office, and knowing that Chelsea always requires us to use the proper branding, we decided it would be appropriate to get you your own Mickey Mouse Lodi Unified School District tie. So we would like to give that to you. But officially, on behalf of all of us, as the president, there is a tradition that we give out the glass apple, which I hope not to, or crystal apple, I hope not to drop at this point. But this does point out your 8 years of service, and we appreciate all that you have done, do, and will continue to do for our children. So thank you very much. And if there's anything you'd like to say, I would certainly pass that over to you during my time.
Okay, well, yes, thank you very much. And it's somewhat of a tradition since I've been on the board when we have an outgoing president or our person that's leaving the board. Thanks, sir. Appreciate that. That's cool. Very cool. That get to make a few comments. So here we go. I do, in fact, appreciate what is the tie and all that kind of stuff. But this time in my life has caused me to start thinking about my time at Lodi Unified School District during this past 52 years. And I thought it might be interesting to share some of the experiences and how things have changed over those years and how the district itself has handled, I would call it, somewhat of an unusual problem. So, first of all, in 1972, it was very difficult to find a teaching job almost anywhere in the state of California, believe it or not. Whereas now we have recruitment fairs and please come, give bonuses. Please come in and work for us. In 1972, I applied to about a 200-mile radius of San Jose, where I was going to school at San Jose State. And I got two interviews, and both of them were in Lodi. I was hired by Floyd Dale. Some of you old-timers may remember him as Susan Heavely's father at Lodi High School. My salary in 1972 was $9,700. That's for the whole year. The starting salary now in Lodi is $64,739. I was a business education teacher, and when you are a business education teacher, that almost demanded that you teach typing classes. That wasn't always my favorite thing to take, but to teach or take actually, but it was kind of, that's what you had to do. Believe it or not, typing was a real popular class back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Everybody in the school wanted to take it. So how the district satisfied that demand was to simply have large classes. My typing room had 6 rows of 10 stations. That's 60 kids in a class. So when you talk about large class sizes, you know, you're talking to the wrong person, because, you know, I've been there. It was always kind of a nice relief to go to your teacher, your accounting class, your business law class, because, you know, they only had like 30 kids in it. Before the No Child Left Behind Act, which was about 2002, I think, before it became effective, there were many options available for students. The No Child Left Behind Act basically devastated many elective programs. Theater, my classes, business classes, all the shop classes, art, those classes were being not eliminated, but severely made much smaller, because all the kids were expected to go to college. That was one of the things. All kids are going to go to college, so therefore they have to take these classes like algebra over and over again until they could pass it. So how the district helped me, actually did help me, because since the kids were taking other classes, I had to teach something. I wanted to teach in a couple of classes that I don't think we do anymore. One was called STEPS, which is, you know that one, sure? Which is, I don't know what the acronym stood for, but it was for students, incoming freshmen, who were identified as being at risk right before they even got to high school. So that was pretty interesting with those kids. I taught a computer literacy class to those guys. Bilingual computer literacy class. Almost every kid in there spoke Spanish. I spoke English. So that was very interesting also. But I knew I had them hooked when I would attempt to read the daily bulletin that was both in English and Spanish. I would read it in Spanish. And judging by the laughter I got in the classroom, I'm not sure how good my Spanish was, but at least I had them hooked for the rest of the day, or the rest of that period at least. I mean, I had 2 years of high school Spanish. I could, you know, figure it out, I thought. And I had another computer lit class that was for all special education students. I don't have a special education background, credential, or experience, but you know, the district said, you know, we need to have somebody teach these things, and since, you know, we don't have business law anymore, so would you teach it? And okay, sure. But I wanted to bring it up because one student in the class, who was probably one of the better students in the class, but she was that student was legally blind. And I asked her one time, hey, could you stick around after class? I need to talk to you about something. Oh, no, Mr. Connect, I've got to go to my next class. It's okay, I'll write you a note. No, really, I've got to go to my next class. What's the next class you have to get to that's really all that important? Driver's ed. This student's legally blind. But driver's ed is a state requirement that in order to graduate, and she wanted to graduate, and that was real important to her. So, you know, whatever I had to say wasn't that important, I guess. I attended a presentation I think just a few months ago at Lodi High School in one of the classrooms, and the speaker was using one of the brand new Promethean boards, and she was expanding and contrasting and doing all kinds of things. Yeah, this is pretty nice. I can remember, I thought I was in high cotton when I got a box of colored chalk. Then we got whiteboards, and then I knew I was definitely high tech at that point. Things have been changing. Things have been changing. I coached for 32 years, and then I was the athletic director for 5 years. And here's a couple of stories on how the district's decisions affect all of us that work here. And I'm kind of looking a lot of times at teachers, I guess, but and anyway, our education career. So in 19 1972, Title IX came about. And that was enacted basically to give girls the same rights as boys. And in this story, it's about athletics. So at the time, I was coaching tennis. It was boys tennis. And when the district finally got around to putting Title IX into play, they said, well, we're going to let the girls come out and compete with the boys. Generally speaking, you know, boys and girls have different skill sets. But that's how they got about it. So now it wasn't the Lodi boys tennis team, it was the Lodi tennis team. I was very fortunate in that I had some very talented girls, and there's only 7 people that play on any given match. And I had some very talented girls, and through the challenge process, they were able to play. So I think I bring that up only because I think that makes me probably the only true co-ed coach in the district. You know, it's not like boys cross country and girls cross country. They practice the same, they go to the same meets and all that kind of stuff, but they don't race against each other. In this case, boys and girls played against each other. So anyway, and closing down here, back in the 80s, the district tried to balance the budget, the coach's budget. They took 20% of our pay. They didn't mention that until halfway through the season. I don't know if Mr. Porter remembers that or not, because that was a long time ago, but they took 20% of our pay cut, and you know, as you can imagine, most coaches weren't real happy with that, especially since they told us in the middle of the season. So we did finish the season because I consider us professionals. Once the kids were involved, and we wanted to finish the season, and so we did. But then we decided not to coach the spring season. Some coaches, in fact, most coaches did. But to my knowledge, this was the only true strike in Lodi Unified School District since 1972 where people actually went out, lost money. By the way, the other seasons went on because Lodi hired some scab coaches. But there was only 5 coaches that stood their ground. And those coaches were Joe Neff, Don Womble, Bob Whitaker, Charlie Hunter, and Gary Knackstead. The district ultimately paid us, by the way, and all those coaches went on to continue coaching for many, many seasons after that. But it was an odd experience, to say the least. I've rounded up my career with 8 years on the school board, and it's been a great experience. You know, I'd like to thank all the people I've worked with over the years at Lodi Unified, and the people who have made Lodi Unified a great place to work. My last piece of advice to all the people from classified, certificated, management, board, is to ask yourself, will the action that I'm about to take, will the vote I'm about to take, ultimately help students be successful? If the answer is yes, then by all means, go for it. If no, you need to revise your thinking. That might have been a little long, but I appreciate the opportunity to say it, and the time I spent at the school board has been a natural progression in education for me. It's been an honor to serve on the board. Now I'm off to new adventures. Thank you, guys. Thank you a lot. Mr. Young, appreciate the chance to talk.
I have nothing further, Mr. Knackstead.
Thank you. With that, then. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Well, we still have business to do tonight. We have comments from employee groups, and at this point, if any employee group would like to come up and talk, we'll give you 5 minutes to say your piece. Bye. Here you go. CSDA.
CSDA.
I've been hearing good things about you, by the way.
Thank you for your service. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Members of the board, Superintendent Young, I'd just like to report that we have been making small successful progress with Mrs. Aaron and her team, which they left. And his name is not Phil Collins, it's Eric Collins. We have been making good success. Hopefully we can resolve some of the issues. I wish we could resolve more, because we have a lot. But we are getting progress, so thank you.
Here's Elliot, okay. Didn't see you.
Mr. Knackstead, members of the board, Mr. Young, members of the cabinet, and our wonderful student representatives. I have to tell you though, this makes me smile to see all women, young women here, so yay. Again, Mr. Knackstead, I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
You know, I've been thinking about elections. LEA is having some elections, and there's been some controversy with some undue influence from people who are not necessarily LEA members. And so I want to remind the board that when a site votes on a site memorandum of understanding, or MOU, it is supposed to be up to teachers. It is supposed to be teacher-driven. It is not supposed to be admin-driven. And I understand that some sites may want to try something, to do something new, to see if it betters the learning environment for students. But again, the process is supposed to be driven by members, not by people who are other people on the site. And we have to also remind ourselves that it has to be taken seriously, because sometimes the votes that my members take will affect other people, including our CSEA brothers and sisters. And I want everyone to be mindful of that. I also kind of feel sometimes that there's been some influence on some committees that LEA is a part of that are going beyond the scope of where they are chartered to go. And that again is also unacceptable. And so I just want people to know that I will be watching that very closely. And if there are contractual or even labor law violations of things that are being done, I'm not going to stand by. That I, as the representative of LEA, will be taking all actions I can to protect my membership. Thank you.
Okay. Any other employee groups? Okay. Okay, let's move on then to comments from the public. At this time, we'll have a 20-minute time period has been set aside for the public to address address the board on items not listed on the agenda. Each public speaker shall limit their comments to 3 minutes. The board cannot engage in dialogue about public comments because of restrictions placed by the California Brown Act. And I don't have no fishbowl, we're just going to shuffle, huh? Oh, we're going to do them all? Okay. Okay. Oh, thanks. All right, here we go. Tony Salina.
All right. Hello, President Knackstead. That was very heartfelt. Great to hear from you, Superintendent Young, staff, distinguished board. We're really grateful to be before you today. I'm Tony Salina. I'm the executive director with Aspire Public Schools in Central Valley. We come before you today with 4 charters for renewal. It's been a while since we've been in front of you. It's actually been 7 years because with COVID there was a delay or a deferral for new charters to be authorized. So we're grateful to be working with the staff to bring the 4 schools forward together all at once rather than have to stagger, and you see us again and again and again in front of you. So really appreciative. Also really appreciated the employee recognition. That was really heartfelt, really wonderful to see. Want to just give a little bit of love to our team too. We have Mr. Wesley Frakes from Bentonville High. He's here representing Bentonville High, and they are on the high track as far as the charter renewal, so excited about that. We have Maria Cortez, our principal at Bentonville Middle, and they're also here to answer any questions if you happen to have any specific questions about any of the schools coming up. And then we have Laura Hawley from River Oaks Charter School. Actually, she is the only person in the room that was at the school before I was. She was a 22-year veteran at River Oaks Charter School. I have 21 years, so she beat me a little bit. And then Danessa Parton, our principal at Vincent Shelby Academy, which was actually our first school in Aspire 25 years ago, authorized by Lodi Unified. So we're grateful for this long partnership and really appreciate it. We have over 60 years of Aspire experience there, and just want to say that, this process is a lot. It's grown over the years, and so we appreciate, we had a whole truckload of petitions that we had to deliver, literally phone book size for you all, so I know it's a lot to go through for both staff and teammates. So just thank you very much for the time to be before you. Thank you.
Thank you. Araceli Ramirez.
Hello, President Knatzstedt, the members of the board, and Superintendent Young. I'm Araceli Ramirez, and I'm the math department chair at McNair High School. And it's come to our attention that our block schedule has been brought into discussions about eliminating our block schedule. And so before you start making decisions, I'd like to highlight some of the good things about our block schedule. Our kids are allowed to take 8 classes a year. That's 32 classes in the 4 years that they're there, as opposed to 24 in a regular high school. If a student fails a class, there's time in their schedule in the 4 years to retake classes and be able to graduate. Our AP track, we have kids that take 4 to 6 AP classes a year. And that's due to our block schedule. And I'll tell you as a parent, both my children graduated from McNair High School. Both took tons of AP classes. They also did a HOSA Health Academy. There's so much time in our schedules that they get to try out a bunch of other electives. They get to see if maybe they might like programming or culinary or health academy. And they do that, and we have the time in our classrooms and in our school day for them to explore. They're able to take programs like Avid all 4 years and not worry about not having the electives or meeting requirements to be A through G. They have all that time in our schedule. Our migrant kids, you have kids that leave in December and do not return until March or April. And these kids, through our schedule, through our block schedule, are able to make up their credits, are able to graduate, and some even meet the A through G requirement. So I'm highlighting this just a little bit of the things that go on at McNair, but I'd really like you to consider, think about all that when you start talking about our schedule. Thank you.
Thank you. Joseph Gardia. Oh, I know that guy.
Good evening, Superintendent Young, President Knatzstedt, and members of the board and the student representatives. My name is Joseph Gardia. I am a community member and a proud product of Lodi Unified Schools. I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Nava on winning his re-election. I'm eager to see how you will use these next 4 years to champion Lodi Unified's North Stockton community. Our community deserves a strong and involved leader, emphasis on involved. While your commitment to our district is evident through your years of service, we need a voice who can bridge the divides in our community and uplift all voices, especially those who have felt unheard. I encourage you to visit our schools throughout these next 4 years and engage in meaningful conversations with the staff, and most importantly, listen to our students. And building these connections will make a significant difference. I truly hope that you will rise to that challenge throughout these next 4 years, and it was truly an honor to run against you in this election. Thank you.
Okay, Aaron Chester Brandt. What, did I say that right?
Brought, but it's okay.
Oh, okay.
The problem is Dutch. They have these extra letters.
Hey, with my name, I'm.
Yeah, I know. Hello, I am also one of the teachers at McNair High School, and I'm here to talk about our block schedule. I have been teaching for close to 25 years, of which 15 of those years have been on a 4x4 block in both Manteca Unified and here. I have hundreds of students that come back to me from the college level saying that they're so thankful they were on a 4x4 block because they are more prepared to deal with a speed up of four classes, you gotta get them done in half a year system. That is what they do at the college level. We have been, the whole district has been pushing for the Measuring Student Learning Project, which is focusing on our A to G compliance. And the block schedule, the 4x4 block schedule, is the only schedule that actually meets mirrors a college experience for students. The 4x4 block also allows us to do support classes for the special education students, the English language learning students. And when you have kids that have come back 15 years later and tell you if they had not had a block schedule, they would have been drowning at UC Berkeley, UC Davis. We're talking big schools. And it's an eat or be eaten situation once you get to those competitive colleges, and we have lots of kids that go. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, and Tammy Williams, I don't know, is it Ancor?
Ancor, that's
Okay. Is that a hyphenated name?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Williams is easier to pronounce, I kept it. Thank you. Good evening, everyone from the board. And I just want to say that I'm a third grade teacher at John Muir, and I want to first of all start with some thank yous. Thank you for giving us subs to do the new data input. Appreciated that we didn't have to do it after school. I appreciate that we have a part-time TOSA, teacher on special assignment for SIPs. So that's always great to get the extra help. I do have some concerns. We did the data input today for the first time, and it was pretty much the things I had already written on the progress reports. And I'm going to have to transfer the end of the year data, if we do this 3 times a year, from that Google form. I'm gonna end up having to put it on the data cards for next year's teacher. So I would appreciate if one of our wonderful tech wizards would figure out how to just pull the data from all of the apps and input the iReady data. We had to do math, we had to do the math iReady, the reading iReady, we had to do SIPs. We also had to do accelerated reader data. And it would be nice if it would just pull it in and just make it an electronic document, because honestly, I don't know if we're gonna have funding for sub days. And I didn't really want to be out of my classroom for almost 3 hours today. I would have preferred just teaching. The other thing is our part-time SIPs teacher has informed us that she's really supposed to be pulling the profile 2 kids rather than the profile 1s, the lower ones, and we really need the help with the kids that, like I'm challenge level for 3rd grade, and we need somebody full-time for extension and the lower grades. So if somehow non-Title I schools can also get a full-time SIPs intervention teacher who would do that small group intervention for the lower levels, that would probably be more helpful and meaningful than having her pull kids that are, she said, was a directive from the district that are borderline. Those are the kids I can catch up no problem. It's my kids that are still reading at kinder 1st grade level that I would like to see have more intensive intervention. And we lost our funding for our para. So we're doing some workarounds now, but it would be really useful if we could have a full day person as well. And then we were presented at a staff meeting, or at the data thing about this I can posters, you will posters, I don't know, been there, done that, posters with standards, objectives, GLAD training. I've been teaching for 30 years and over 25 in this district, and I've been through more trainings than I can count. I'm not exactly sure how that's supposed to make me a better teacher if I'm spending more time writing posters on the wall that the kids don't read. I'd rather just do my small group interventions and prepare my phonics lessons and my small group math. So I don't think I would find that useful. I mean, maybe new teachers would, I'm not sure, but we've done that before where we had, and when you're a multi-subject teacher like I am, or even an English teacher, you have like 30 standards you're teaching every day. So it's not like very useful for my time planning. I'd rather make meaningful interventions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, moving on to consent agenda A. At this time, the public may address the board on consent agenda A, which is a routine business. Each public speaker shall limit the comments to 3 minutes. Is there anybody in the public that would like to talk about consent agenda A? Okay, board. A5.
I'd like to pull A4.
Let's see, that was, you all remember who you are. You want to do A4. Okay, anything else? Okay, let's go with A4 first. Oh, do you add A?
I make a motion to pass.
The rest?
Second that.
Okay, so we're gonna.
Can I speak on A5?
Well, no, I'll call you up in a minute. Okay, hang on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and vote on the consent agenda A, except for 4 and 5, which we have pulled. Okay, got it? We good on that?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Everything but 4 and 5.
Yep. Okay, so student vote.
Aye.
We lost one of them. Okay, board vote. No blame her.
Yes, he's asleep. I got it. Thank you. Mr. Norman hasn't voted either.
I know, I see that.
He's trying.
All right, here we go. And consent agenda A passes 6-0 and 1 absent. Got it. Okay, so we pulled 4. Okay.
Real quick before you do, we're just waiting for it to come up so the public can see the vote.
They may need to reset it. Looks like it may have not mentioned this. Let's just go with here.
Please wait for station identification.
That stuff's over.
I apologize. It won't let me do that when it's so.
Do you want them?
And just do a verbal one, then I'll cancel this over.
Mr. Connexon, members of the board, would you please do a verbal vote again for those, just so everyone publicly can see each person's vote since it's not coming up?
Mr. Porter?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Stroh is absent. Okay, item 5. Did you, Mr. Porter, you pull that?
Well, let's go in order. Yeah, pull item 4 first.
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, I'm getting ahead of myself.
8-4 is, yeah, I was waiting to have it come up. There. So first, I want to apologize. I should have written you an email on this. I had a sticky note all week, and then I realized today was Tuesday and I hadn't responded, so my apologies. I just wanted to confirm, in it, it talks about $6 million, and it says blacktop.
$6 million blacktop for A4?
For A4, unless I misread it somewhere. I want to make sure that I didn't misunderstand
One moment, let me.
in reference to it. Did I read it wrong? Award amount, I'm sorry, 1 million, or is that just for blacktop? I'm sorry.
That's interior concrete work.
Interior concrete.
Interior concrete work inside of the campus area, yet only.
All interior, not, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like out, I was thinking concrete outside, yeah. Okay, thank
Just
you.
wanted to clarify on this that it's the interior because we have some other items regarding Lodi Middle coming in
Yes.
future board meetings.
That was my, okay, thank you.
Any other comments on this?
Motion to
You
approve.
want-
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
And when do we anticipate this starting? In next summer?
Pardon?
Next summer? Okay, yeah.
What was the second, please?
No one did second yet.
I second.
Oh,
Okay, I heard a second.
Okay, student vote then.
Aye. Aye.
Board vote.
It's going to be next one.
Yeah, I did. I don't know. Okay. Well, I can tell you what it looks like on my computer. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, that passes 5-0, or 6-0, and 1 absent. Okay. And now, Mr. Porter.
8-5?
Yep.
Yeah, been talking to the people that are over at Tokay, that are involved in the athletic side of this field.
Mr. Porter, if you pull the microphone closer, thank you.
Sorry. This field that you're putting together for a large amount of money, over close to $7 million. Is this going to be a competition field, competition size, meeting all the regulations?
It will meet CIF's specifications, yes. It will be game play during the day because there are no lights included in the bid award.
Now you're doing are you doing one field, or I'm kind of confused? I'm sorry, I have a lot of stuff going on.
Okay, this bid includes 2 fields. It's a baseball field and a softball field.
Are the existing, so would the, based on my knowledge being out there, would the outfield of the baseball field coincide with the outfield of the softball field? Will it be overlap?
I'm not understanding the question. So both of if you would like a,
Yeah, because there's nothing here showing us the design.
I'm happy to provide you with the design layout.
Yeah, my concern is, I know that a lot of stuff's come up lately over the football field for Lodi High School. And that Tokay has been going into Billy Hebert Field to play their men's baseball. And with this, are we having stands and so forth? Why not lights? Why not do it correctly? Or is this going to be a Band-Aid? I'm really wary of dropping $7 million, which I think it will be. And we end up in a situation where it's not up to code or up to speed for a CIF event. And I'm hearing from the people at Tokay that this is not going to meet the CIF regulations.
The bid proposals specified CIF specifications.
And did you include input from the baseball, softball coaches, the PE coaches, teachers?
In the summer, we met with the athletic director and one of the coaches, and I'm sorry, the name is slipping my mind.
Thinking of baseball, probably Mr. Campbell.
Scott?
Yes, Campbell. Is that correct, Scott Campbell? My reasoning is that's kind of minimal. I know that the athletic director has very little knowledge of, say, softball or baseball. I'm concerned that we're dropping a lot of money for something that won't be able to have people have adequate seating and so forth. At the same time, we have needs at Lodi High as well because their football situation is inadequate, and we haven't come to a resolution on that. I feel the information that I have, at least, and I haven't done a dive on this, is a little bit inadequate to say, go ahead and spend $7 million. Given that we did that on the Tokay football field, and now we're into this, they got that, what do we have between Lodi High and Tokay High? What is being done at Lodi High for the girls softball?
We are expecting bids on the girls softball this week as well.
And they consider their baseball field adequate?
I can't answer that.
Mr. Porter, I do see Lodi High's baseball team playing at Lodi High School.
So do I.
So
They're right on the road there. I find the seating very inadequate. based on what I've seen at other schools. I was wondering if we could look at a joint use field for competition for Lodi and Tokay. Somewhere, say, Lodi Middle School in the back there, where we have a great deal of land. For maybe a combination softball, baseball situation. I just feel that we're shortchanging our girls in softball, and we've been shortchanging band-aiding of the boys as well. This is just my opinion. I would like to see us table this and maybe look at it and maybe step back a little bit, because once you do this, it's done, and we're stuck with it. And it's kind of like the football field at Tokay High School, where I wasn't on the board at the time. I would have gone for an off-campus joint football field for both schools and spent the money that way. And then put turf in at both schools for practice, and then have them have joint use for competition. That way you're knocking out two birds with one stone. I can see the same thing here for Lodi, and we could save money, hopefully, if we had a joint use. That's my opinion. I'm not saying I know everything about baseball, I don't, or softball, but I've seen us step out and do things, and then we're stuck with them.
Mr. Porter, if it's okay, members of the board, this has been a several-year process that we have gone through and brought this to you as a board. We've also taken this through the facilities committee. This is actually a second run at it. We actually pulled it last time. If it is the interest of the board not to vote on this tonight, we did put these out for bid based on what was taken to the facilities, the board facilities committee, and looking at that. We are looking at Lodi Middle School, CIF regulations, and utilizing the large grass area as well. The only thing I would ask, if that is the will of the board, that you not table it to next board meeting, because it sounds like from what you're recommending, it would be a far deeper look than one board meeting if it were tabled.
Well, I would like to defer to Miss Alexander, whose daughters played softball, and then Mr. Nava, of course, who was department chair in the P department, Mr. Knack's dad, who was an athletic director. That we have a wealth of information here on the board, and our background, I should say. And it seems like to me that we look at things more silo instead of how we can put them together to work for both schools and put out a really good product that both schools are proud of to use in a joint use way. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I pulled this item for that reason, to let if the other board members would like to fill in their expertise in this area.
I'd like to ask Edith, you mentioned to us that these fields are CIF approved.
CIF specifications.
Okay, secondly, it's a lot of money. Are there lights on the fields?
No, there are no lightings included.
What does the $6 million go for? I mean, I know I've been involved with baseball and softball fields before, but that is a great amount of money.
It is, and it has increased significantly over the past couple of years. So you have the CIF specification baseball, CIF specification softball, dugout, stands, site work, pathway, path of travel, and also field work. And I just would like to make one comment to make sure that I'm perfectly clear. Staff went through great pains to ensure that everything that is included in this bid response matches what the other school sites have. So the other school sites do not have lighting. This bid does not include lighting. Other school sites have a perimeter outfield fence. This bid has an outfield fence. They have scoreboards. This bid has scoreboards. So staff made sure to make sure that it was equivalent to what is at other school sites.
What are the school sites?
Bear Creek,
Okay.
McNair.
Do you have the fields, are they artificial turf?
No.
They're
No,
not?
they're not.
Wow, that's expensive.
Yes.
You plant grass and water. I'm in a form that's a lot of money if it's not first class operation. And first class is not grass. Artificial turf for outfield and infield and lights and all that, that would be first class. And like I said, Edith, I know nowadays the prices have increased, but it's still, the $6 million to me is a large amount.
Alexander?
I just was curious, restroom facilities, that was at one point a concern. Has there been a change to that? Or an addition for restrooms, or are they just assuming that they will open up the locker rooms and people have to travel quite a ways to get to them?
Correct, no restrooms.
Yikes.
And then, when you say will we be able to play league games, CIF approved games on this field, or is it just, okay, we've met this requirement to kind of, I've heard both things that, oh yeah, it's CIF based, but we can't play games there without there being challenges.
In discussions with our athletic coordinator, we reviewed the specifications, and the comment was that this is CIF specifications for daytime game. We couldn't play during the night because we don't have the lighting. There's the scoreboards, the dugouts, and the dimensions meet the game needs.
And only one game can be played at a time. You can't play softball at the same time as you're playing baseball, correct?
Two different fields, they're two different fields, so they could play.
But they do back up to each other, if I recall, like it's not.
Kind of like that.
So yes, they can be played at the same time, or no, they cannot?
They could be
It doesn't
played
sound
at
like
the
it.
same time. They
I don't
both
know
point
about that.
each
It doesn't sound
direction.
like it.
I'm just gonna chime in ahead of Ms. McFarland just real quickly.
Okay.
I agree with Joe on the turf. Ms. Alexander's talked about the bathrooms. That is a long haul to the men's bathroom and for the ladies as well. The other thing is, I like lights. I wanna go to a baseball game at night or a softball game. And you're gonna get better revenue, better draw. So if you're gonna do it, we need to think out of the box. And again, I think Ms. McFarland could add into this as well. Let's do this so it's nice, and maybe something where both schools could benefit. We don't need to be so tribal.
May I address the light question? So we did have the lights as an ad alternate, and it is $650,000 for 6 lights, so we would need to times that by 2 for both the baseball and the softball, so just over $1.3 million to add the lights. So it is an option if you wanted to add that to this scope of work.
So, having had a daughter that played softball and a husband that coached on that field, I don't, and sat many days as you have on that field for practices and inter-squad games and all those types of things. If we're using it for PE classes and that we're gonna get some use out of it that way, when we're talking about turf versus grass, that's also new maintenance. That's also an additional maintenance cost. And so that's my other concern, is are those fields gonna be mowed and maintained in a manner in which, if we're spending $6 million, that we have the staff to do it, and that they're given the time to have the infield cut to the regulation of CIF to have infield. Any way you butt 2 teams up, your outfields are going to meet unless we suddenly got more square footage in the back of Tokyo. I don't see it. I've watched many practices. I would want to have something cleared from CIF before we move forward. I know our people have looked at it and the bids are CIF. I would hate for us to do this and then find out 3 months or 6 months later that CIF has not cleared it and the regulations have changed, or there was some new unique component of it, and now we can't have a game. I do believe lights, if we're going to do this, it gives us the most option. If the JV team is practicing right after school, and it is spring, so we haven't encountered time change, and that's always an issue with spring sport. So if we did have lights, even at a $1 million cost, we could go back-to-back practices into the early evening. We've done it for other sporting teams. That price tag scares me with now turf infield, and I don't know what the other ones looked at, and I know we all talked about it, and I'm sure you took into consideration everything that we asked you to do. I think I would want to see a little more detail on the end before I said yes to $6 million, because there's a lot of things in our district that are needed. When we're spending almost $7 million on 2 fields, as a board, I think we need to be darn sure what we're voting on. when it only affects one school and one group of students. And I know you understand that, and I do appreciate the work that went into this. This isn't the process. I just want to make sure that our vote, we know exactly what we're voting for, and we're not brought information later. And I know there's chatter, and you're telling us one thing and we're hearing something else, so I want to make sure we're clear. As far as tabling it, I'm not sure what to do, but I would want a little more thorough information, and I think for that price, I need to see a little bit more. I know the field's in bad shape. We all know that, and it's not safe.
It's not a field.
It's not a field.
Not a field.
It's not a field.
It's a parking lot?
I'm overestimating exactly to go for park.
So, members of the board, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, the gentleman, I would like to hear what he had to say, some additional information if possible to add that in before we.
Thank you, President Knaxt, members of the board, Superintendent Young. 2 years ago, I remember the same similar proposition. Mr. Porter, I remember him saying, it doesn't matter that if we fix these fields, that we don't have people to maintain them.
Yeah.
The students deserve nice fields, and we have to be able to maintain them. Currently, the district only has one person and his trainee to maintain all the fields. I mean, you can spend $7 million again. It's gonna go back to not even being a field. We need the people to maintain the fields. There's only one person and a person that he's training to maintain all these fields. And I'm talking irrigation-wise from sprinklers, valves, pumps. I mean, these are sophisticated systems, and only one person and his trainee are doing the whole district. Just for your consideration, Elk Grove has 7 teams. Stockton has 4 and is gonna hire 2 more. Lodi Unified, just one person and his trainee. So spend your $7 million. In a few years, it'll be not even a field again. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
I have one more comment.
Okay.
I say, you know, when I first came into this board, the athletics field and everything were in the dark ages. I come from where now we have, state-of-the-art facilities at all our schools, all the schools at Stockton Unified. If you're going to have this field and lower the maintenance, it should be artificial grass, it should have lights, it should have restrooms close by, and it should have the dugouts in there like it's supposed to be. It should be a first-class operation if we're gonna spend this much money on it. That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
Mr. Knaxt, you have one more public comment.
Okay.
Hi, sorry. Bear Creek is, their softball, baseball fields are my backyard of my playground. And we don't have bathrooms. We have porta potties that my kids saw someone coming in and out of yesterday and today. They're like, what's that person doing over there? I can see them from the playground. We don't have lights. Our field is full of these little burrs that get in the girls' shoes and rip up their bodies. So it's no lights, no toilets, no nothing. Our football field was done with Measure U when I was president of the foundation. We worked with Ralph Womack to get that done. But there isn't, so if you're gonna spend $7 million, we need lights, we need, we're gonna add our price tag. So add another $2 million for our lights at Bear Creek and for our bathrooms, because the fact that people's grandmas are taking their walkers over to the porta potty is an embarrassment when people pull up in their big buses and things like that. Not even discussing the portables where the skunks live and the roaches live and things like that. That's a whole other story. I believe in sports, but I also believe that we got that too. So come by Bear Creek, I'll show you. I'll show you where the porta potties are. Come say hi to me. I'm on the playground. Come see me. And it's a problem. Thanks.
Okay.
So, Mr. Knaxt, if I might, there was a lot of different information that was shared by board members. This was brought because of concerns that initially occurred, that Tokay had concerns about that unusable field, and staff proceeded with that information. There are certainly limitations based on the square footage and what Edith is attempting to do to respond to the interest of the board. I think we have 2 pieces to this. If what you're talking about is looking at all-weather turf, and you're looking at something like that across the district for consistency, you're gonna have to look at that. If you're talking lighting and consistency, you're looking at that. If we're talking joint use, that's a different conversation based on location and an ability to do that. So there's a lot of different pieces. So board, it's your decision whether or not you want to move on this or just let this item die at this point. I wouldn't recommend tabling it because that's going to push it off to next board meeting. I think there's some conversations that would need to go to the facilities committee to go back to that ad hoc committee that is less than a majority of board members to discuss that piece, because that's a bigger facilities use conversation. And this wasn't our recommended bidding. This was of the bidders, this is the lowest or close to the lowest of what was bid on this. So understand, others came in even higher than that for the same work. So there's a lot of pieces you're asking us to look at here. This was an item that was that came previously that we pulled, and then we increased the scope of work on it. And Edith proceeded with that information to get the bids. So if you don't want to go forward with this item at this point in approving it, then I think we need to go back and have some discussions, and then we have to have a more formal process from the board to discuss those items, because this is not from our Measure U money. This is from a limited resource that is used in a lot of different capacities, and how you want to allocate those resources because they are limited. So I just want to make sure those pieces are considered, and then you consider whether or not you just want to let this item die, or you want to table it, or any other ideas that the board might have, including approving.
I haven't said anything yet. So, I do like the idea of joint use agreements, because I think you can get a lot more bang for your buck. I know that a lot of people don't like that because, well, it's not on my campus or whatever it is, but I think you get a lot more bang for your buck if it's a true joint use agreement and it's used jointly, fairly. I don't know about the lights. My feeling is that you're having problems with neighbors more than anything else because of the light problem. Which unfortunately, don't buy a house next to a high school, but you're gonna have that kind of situation. I think there's enough problems with this that we need to either follow Mr. Young's advice or table it, one of the two at this point. Dr. Ball, you had another comment before you make a decision.
Thank you, President Connected. Thank you for all your knowledgeable comments. I do not have knowledge in sports. So I think this should come to the Facilities Committee first. We can sit and talk about it. There's Mr. Porter sits on it, and there's Sherry there, and if any other, I don't know if more board members can sit on it, but no, it will be a quorum. There's 3 of us, and we know we're fully informed, we give you the input, we can ask for input from others, and then proceed with it. I wouldn't say dump the prospect of it, don't just forever let it go into nothingness, but bring it to the Facilities Committee, talk about it, and we bring it back with a little better planning. So it doesn't seem like we don't care about this. We do care, we just want to bring it back.
If no motion is made, then this stops at this point.
One quick side.
Wait a minute, hang on.
I was just gonna say, whatever comes back, we must have how to maintain. Because to me, it's bad money spent if we're not maintaining.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going at.
Go ahead.
One quick side note is I've been on that campus for 38 years. Everything was working great when I started. Freshman football at the far end. Then they had sophomores playing over there, they had varsity in this. Then when baseball came around, softball had their little field. They played, sophomore played on the other field. Softball got going, sophomore baseball. Then they were using Kofu and everybody was happy. And the fields were maintained. Getting back to the CSCA representative's statement. Everything was great. And then I walked out there, a year ago, 2 years ago, and it's like a desert. Because the district lost interest in maintaining it. So for us to drop $7 million on something that was working, but then it needed care. It had gopher holes, it had stuff like that. You had coaches that were, I don't know if you use the word here, doing the infield on their own time. I know Pat was going over there quite a bit and putting in tons of his own money. Lavoti got money from Murdoka to get a lawnmower from Pietros. And then Sassi during his prep period was grading the infield. I mean, I've been there for a long time, and it's kind of tragic how much you see individual people put time in, and the district just kind of ignore it. And then gradually, as those people give up and get frustrated and move on, then it goes to what it is right now, which is a desert. I don't even think you could use PE out there now. I would be shocked. So I'm with Mr. Nava. I think we need to go back to the drawing board, meet with, and I'm with Dr. Ball, table this, take a look at all avenues. I mean, not table this, not table this, not table this, but I would like to not motion on it, and then go back and get some fresh ideas that the committee can then look at. And I think joint use is the way to go. Most schools are. Most school districts are.
Okay, I think you've heard that we're not ready to take an action on this right now.
If no motion is made, then we move on to the next item.
And then, yeah, but I also think you heard that we're very interested in a project going through, just maybe in a different format, different style, a little more comprehensive, I would say. Okay?
First class operation.
Can we move on then and just?
We have direction from the board.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Ethan.
Thank you. Ethan.
Yeah, really, yeah, I know it's been a lot of time. Okay, so did we vote on A4 already?
Yes.
Okay, so we're moving on then. Yes. To consent agenda B.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve consent agenda B.
Second.
Okay, consent agenda B with student matters, so students, you don't get a vote on this one. Board vote. Excuse me. Is it up there? Okay, passes 6-0, 1 absent. And other action items, number 1, AB 1200, documents for Lodi Unified School District Employee Group, Lodi Unified Supervisors Group. Mrs. Juarez.
All right, thank you, President Knexted. Good evening, members of the board, Superintendent Young. So this serves as a statutory public disclosure of the collective bargaining agreement as detailed following to this board item, OAI-2, in accordance to AB 1200 and Government Codes 3547.5 and 3540.2. This agreement has a total projected cost to the district of approximately $162,000. This includes the cost of the 1.07% increase to the salary schedule, as well as one-time expense to the district for approximately $101,000 for health and welfare benefits for calendar year 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Any public comments on this? Any board or student comments? Board comments?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve this item, AB 1200.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, Dr. Ball, second. And student vote.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, oh, that's fine too. And board vote. Keep thinking Mrs. Holbert's one of the students. This passes 6-0, 1 absent. Okay. Other action item number 2 is the ratification of a tentative agreement with Lodi Unified Supervisors Group. Mrs. Church.
President Knexted, members of the board, this item is the tentative agreement that has been ratified with the Lodi Supervisors Group for your approval.
Okay, any public comments? Board comments?
Move we approve, sir.
Second.
Okay, first and second. Students vote.
Aye. Aye.
And board vote, please. Okay, Mr. Nally, you need to vote.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Too busy talking, Mr. Eloquent.
I know, Okay. Okay, and that passes 6-0 and 1 absent. Moving on down to other action item number 3, expanded learning opportunities. Dr. Horton?
Board President Daxton, members of the board, this is the follow-up to the previous board meeting, the board report presented by Jose Maciel about the extended learning and after-school learning programs. This is now the item back to the board for consideration to put that plan into action.
Okay. Any public comments on that? Yes?
Thank you for the opportunity. So I guess my question is, this looks like it's, a lot of this is to put portables on school sites. And maybe I'm wrong, and if I am, please correct me. I thought ELOP funds were going to sunset at some point. And so if that happens, what's going to happen to all the facilities that we are putting on these school sites?
Dr. Horton?
Right now, I think the funding sources that are there, though this batch of money may move on, there is still no signal from Sacramento that these monies are going to stop anytime soon.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Board
Chairman, I move we approve.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion. Student vote?
Aye.
Aye.
And board vote? Motion passes 6-0, 1 absent. Okay. Moving on to other action item number 4. This is the approval of a counselor on special assignment and a program coordinator of college and college and career. Dr. Horton, once again.
Board President Daxton, members of the board, this again is bringing back prior direction from a previous meeting to come back and begin to put together a college career team, if you will. So in this item, we have outlined the process that we believe we can do to make that happen. As discussed in the board report previously, our first item of business will be to fly a program coordinator for the college career team. We've also mentioned in that document how we see being able to fund that, where we're looking at using the A through G readiness grant, improvement grant, which are monies that will be sunsetting in about 18 months. So being able to put that money to use fits this program perfectly. We also are interested in flying a counselor on special assignment. We also see the opportunity to make that a cost neutral so that we are not adding to the footprint of our financials on either side, whether it's on soft money or on LCAP money. And finally, we are, I guess you would say, commandeering the avid coach that belongs to professional learning to be able to expand that assignment to also be part of this team because of the expertise that this person has in getting our students ready to move through high school and be ready for college. So that position is also cost neutral. So at this point, we're bringing it to the board for your approval.
Okay, any public comment on this?
Again, so I understand, so we're looking at spending approximately $300,000 on a program coordinator for 18 months. What will happen to this person after 18 months? Do they understand that it's an 18-month contract and after that they go away, or is this going to be yet another admin position that is going to be absorbed into the district? That's a big question. That's a lot of money, and it could be an ongoing cost. So that's my question. What's going to happen after 18 months when this grant sunsets?
At this time, what we would propose for the board is that about a year from now, so 12 months from now, to come back and bring a board report to look at the progress made, to decide what to do with that position at that time, and what to do with that team. I think the benefit to building what we have so far is that it allows us, if you will, an escape hatch. That if we need to, depending on the climate at the time and the finances at the time, we would have no commitment to continue forward, but we would also have the opportunity to look at LCAP monies if that became something that was the direction of the board to move that team and continue the progress of what they're doing. So really it's, I think, a mandate for us to get busy and get to work for 12 months and bring back a list of everything accomplished and see what we've been able to accomplish at that time.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Board comments? Okay, Alexander?
First and foremost, I want to thank you, Dr. Horton, for seeing, how do I want to put this? I've seen a lot of spinning our wheels where we just kind of go in circles, and I love the fact that we had this study session. You brought it forward, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is moving, and it looks like it's happening, and thank you for that, because I appreciate that, and I appreciate not spinning my wheels. I see that we're looking at the A through G grant program. Now, are we eligible for other grants too? I think it's the middle college or early college grant program, or the career, I don't know, that MSET and the CCAP, both of those, or are we, does this fall under that umbrella? I'd like to see as much money as possible.
Me too. Yeah, these are kind of sort of apples and oranges when it comes to that. But to your point, there are, at least on the college side of things, there are definitely monies out there that we should be more aggressive in going after. And with our little team, we very much intend to do that and reach out and build partnerships with Delta College and maximize that. We also know that, if you remember in the study session on the career side, there are monies that we will be diving into at great length to decide and find where they are at the state level for job apprenticeship programs and the other pieces that are on that side. So there are certainly pots of money that are available for us to bring into this team to make some exciting things happen, and that's precisely what these people will be tasked to go and do.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
When I read this, it says fly a program coordinator to lead the college. Is that more than one person, or is that a single person, and with that one person, and that would be somebody from within, or we will open this up to find the best candidate? I'm just curious because it looks like the counselor will be on special assignment, so it'll be somebody from within. So I'm sure you have a plan. I'm just curious if it was one, and you clarified that for me.
Correct, yeah. So the flying the program coordinator would be an inside-outside fly.
Okay.
And then the counselor on special assignment would be looking to the inside, and the AVID coach is already with us, so that's inside. So
Got it.
2 inside, 1 depends.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
Board comments?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Dr.
Just a
Paul.
quick one. I know you worked really hard on this. Does this match our mission?
I would say spot on.
Thank you.
Members of the board?
We shouldn't be discussing.
Yeah, since I've done a huge dive into this student achievement, which is what we're here for, and we shouldn't stand in the way of that. I mean, the data's all there that we need this for our school district to move ahead, because we're sliding in terms of CCI. I do hope that when we look at that program coordinator, we look at somebody that is already in the weeds and knows what's going on and knows what the money is and knows how to get it, has relationships with JCs, is doing it. And from what I can see, and it's not the fault of this district, we need to go outside to get that. And I think the people here are good people. I just don't think they have the background necessary to do that. So I'd like to see this opened up and see if we can get some great candidates. It is the future, and it's going to help the school district in terms of students achieving, which is what we're here for. All the data points to it. And if you think data lies, then maybe you shouldn't exist, because it's what it revolves around, all right? Anyway, that's my 2 cents about the program coordinator.
Okay. Any other?
Yeah.
Listen up.
Mr. Connected. Great job. Last meeting, one board member said, we wanted to do it now. Is that right?
Yep, that's right.
So, well, let's get started then. I move we approve.
I second it.
Okay. We have a motion then. Let's do the vote.
Aye. Aye.
There's only 6.2. Okay, board vote. Yeah.
He keeps waiting for you to vote.
Take it as a compliment.
Okay, motion passes 6 yes and 1 absent. Oh, we're down to board advisory committee reports. Do we have any? You guys weren't on your board, okay. And is there any final comments from the board?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can I
Okay.
say, first of all, my first and foremost comment is thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you.
My gosh, I remember 8 years ago when Mr. Womack decided not to run for the board. I think I saw you outside, you were doing something, and I said, Gary, why don't you try to get into the board, because you'd be a good member with all your athletic experience and your teaching experience. And I think you did it. I don't know if you took my advice or not,
Oh,
but
sure.
you did it. And
Yeah, it's all about you, yeah. I get it.
no, but excellent job. Very pleased, very comfortable with you as board member, as a board president. And thank you for all the things you've done. And it's a thing that you are student oriented. That's the main thing. And when you mentioned on your speech there, that's what you dealt with. Help the kids in this district to become better citizens and better character and all that kind of thing. But thanks again, Gary.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Any other comments? Sherry?
I also wanted to thank you for your time and your service to the district. I finally just now have figured out how to say your name correctly, so I'm a little sad about that. But thank you for all the years that you put into all of our students. And I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and focusing on being thankful for all we have.
Thank you.
I'll jump in next.
Okay.
Gary, it's been a pleasure. When new boards are elected and you come together, everyone kind of sits back and watch, and it's fun as an outside business person to watch an educator do what they want, and that's advocate and be passionate for students and staff. You're a pleasure to work with. You are a consummate professional. In my opinion, you come prepared. Your insights are spot on, whether it's private session or open session. I appreciate everything that you say and do. We're going to miss you, but I know in the essence of an election, whoever comes next, we will welcome with open arms and work together with them to be better for our district. And so thank you for always putting the students first and having the bigger picture in mind. And your quote was spot on at the end of your speech. And I will miss you at our conferences and your...
Maybe I'll come to those.
Yeah, we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you. But I know you will come to that microphone as previous board members that have left us and give us your insight. I know you're going to love to come and tell us what you think.
Yeah, I don't have a problem doing that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other comments for?
Are you okay, Mr. Woodruff?
No, I have a comment. We had some comments about McNair's block scheduling, and I did a quick little, I have the CDE app. Their scores are below our other high schools in terms of CCI. So they're 4x4, although it's great if you have an overcrowded school and have to share materials. That's what a 4x4 is really for. It's an overcrowded school, and you got to get kids in and out and materials. But to think that learning can take place a year and a semester, the data's just not there. It's just not there. Yeah, you're gonna get more classes, but are you gonna learn? It gets back to student achievement. So I know those people came up and spoke very passionately, and I love it. Show me some data that proves me wrong, great. I'll look at anything, but that's the one comment. The other thing is that I wanna talk about is We need all players to be on the same page. By players, I mean stakeholders, that we're here for student achievement. We're not here for, oh, I might not get my lab in if you change the schedule. Oh, this might affect, bathroom time or whatever. You gotta look at what you're here for, and that's student achievement. With that, of course, is safety, happiness, well-being, and all those things. But you gotta look again why you're here, why we're here as board. And so everybody has to be involved, from CSEA to LPPA to our admin team to everybody that can think of, the bus drivers, everybody. We're here to help the students achieve. And so we need everybody pulling together and looking at that. It's easy to say no. It's easy to be a roadblock. It's a lot of fun though to say yes and take a swing, okay? And get up to the plate. So get on board, all you naysayers, and let's see what we can do for our students here in Lodi Unified.
Oh, sure.
Thank you, President Knight. I do appreciate all of us recognizing our counselor for the year, Sandra Momadam. Gosh, she served the district more than I lived, so that's awesome. I also wanted to kind of bring forward what our school district did kind of briefly recognize November as the Sikh American Awareness and Appreciation Month. California does it, and we did it too. It was super brief, so I don't know if it was for a different reason, but I am a practicing Sikh. I take pride in that. The motto that we live by is, you work hard, you share what you have, and you take care of those who can't take care of themselves. So proud to do that. I would love to share any more insights anybody needs on that. Shout out to all our Sikh students out in our community, our Sikh educators. I know we have a few, and a few are retired. You have a good friend, Nikki. But I thank the school district for actually taking time to recognize that. It's a very small community in this whole world, so it's nice to be seen. It is also a Native American Awareness Month, so something we shouldn't forget. I did make a quick trip to Elkhorn's Harvest Fest, and whichever way you turn, Mr. Harris is there. I missed his pie in the face, but he was very proud of it. He showed me the video, and he's supposedly sent it. I don't know. I did want to thank Mrs. Yates for the invite. I think the music that she puts together for McNair kids is just stupendous. And this year, if you guys don't want to miss it, it's with Stockton Chorale, and it's going to be wonderful. So if you haven't got that email, go for it, please. If you have 2 opportunities to watch it, I would love to see everybody there. Last but not the least, Mr. Knudsen. Thank you. Your candid leadership style. I absolutely love serving by your side. I would have loved to spend more years knowing you. But please come back.
Okay. Okay.
When you're up to it. Thank you for everything you've done for the school district, and you're leaving behind a legacy that I think everybody is grateful for.
Thank you for those words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I'm the last man standing here, and I did want, somebody mentioned the block schedule. If I was in charge, I'm not interested in eliminating the block schedule. I like the idea of what I think Beth Tamura and the folks are doing over at Tokay, or at Lodi High School, as far as having I'm going to call it, it's not an extended day, but the 7-period day or whatever it is. I think that will answer a lot of problems. But as far as eliminating something at McNair that's working, I wouldn't want to eliminate that. And the other thing somebody brought up was, I'm not sure what data teachers were transferring. I think it was at John Muir. There's probably some jobs, some of that has to be done by teachers, but that shouldn't be a full-time job, I wouldn't think. So I would look into that if I had anything to say about it. But anyway, I'm going to thank everybody one more time for allowing me to be of service to the students and the staff at Lodi Unified School District, and all the kind words from my fellow board members and people. It's kind of hard for me to say I'm at a loss for words, but other than thank you. And I really like being here with all you folks and being part of this program. Because what you're doing and what everybody that works at Lodi Unified School District is so important. You know, getting a good education, learning values. If nothing else, something I used to say a long time ago is that it's cheaper to educate than it is to put people in jail, to incarcerate. So, you know, let's keep doing our job and doing it as well as we've been doing it, and thank you. And I hope you're here next meeting just to start me off, so you'll see me one more time and I can make fun of you then. And I'll sit down in the audience and make fun of you guys. Like that. Okay, we need a motion. Mr. Nava, what's our motion?
Yeah, I move you, we adjourn, sir.